Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Young Wild Gamer here, and today we do not have a trolling video. We are actually going to be talking about a life story. Now, before I begin the video, I just want to say, do not go and do anything that I say in my video just because, you know, I say it's fun or anything like that. No, I'm just talking about my life story. I mean, I really don't do the things that I say anymore. I'm just talking about, like, you know, the stage that I went through, you know, in high school and all that. So, anyways, now that we got that out of the way, this is gonna be my actual first life story, and there are many more to come because, you know, as a kid, I always used to, like, you know, experiment with things, and I was dumb. But anyways, here we go, before, you know, I distract myself with anything else. Now, this video is the first time I did acid, and if you guys don't know what acid is, it's pretty much like hallucination drug and all that. You know, you start tripping out and all that, you start hearing things and all that. You know, I don't really know what the actual name for LSD is, but yeah, that's acid. It's pretty much LSD. Alright, now anyways, the first time I did acid was my junior year. So let's get into it. So it was I don't remember what day it was, but I just remembered I went to school. Sorry, excuse me. I went to school, and I just went out and asked everybody that I knew if they had acid, and you know, nobody really did. Everybody was like, "Nah, man, I just got that, you know, that icky green stuff. You know, I don't really mess with acid because it can kill you, you know, and all that." But I was just like, "All right." So first period, you know, I was asking all the, like, you know, stoner kids and all those druggies. I was just like, "Hey, bro, you know anybody that got acid?" And they're like, "Nah, bro, I'm sorry, I don't." Just like, "Oh, all right, it's cool." And then, you know, second period, I asked some of the stoner kids and all those the Mexican gangsters. I was just like, "Hey, bro, you know anybody that got acid or you got acid?" And they're like, "Nah, we don't really mess with that." So at this point, I was pretty much just about to give up, you know. And I was just like, "All right. I mean, nobody really got acid, you know. Maybe it's just, you know, maybe it's a sign that I shouldn't really do it." Alright, so third period came along, and I'm just like, hold up, there's a bunch of Mexican gangsters in my class in third period. There's one of them's gotta have it. So, third period, I went to go ask this one kid, and he doesn't really look that much of a gangster. He looks more of a frat boy. And I asked him, I'm just like, "Hey, bro, you got any acid?" And he's just like, "Nah, I don't, dude." And he's like, "You're asking the wrong person." I'm just like, alright. So I proceeded with class, right? And then 5 minutes later, he tells me, "Hey, bro, come here." And I was just like, alright. He's like, "You got the money?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he takes out this tab. And I'm just like, "Why didn't you just give it to me at first?" He's just like, "Oh, I just had to make sure it was cool with my dealer to sell it." And I'm just like, alright, it's cool. So I took the tab. Now, you know, I wasn't really experiencing anything because it doesn't hit you right away. So I was just, you know, doing my work, finishing it all up, you know, getting ready for this trip. And I finished all my work, and like I didn't have any headphones, so that really sucks. So I was just like pretty much just looking around the room, seeing if anything has changed. I didn't really know what to expect because it was my first time. So yeah, my friend, he called me over, and he's just like, "Hey, bro, can you help me out with this?" And then I'm just like, "Yeah." And it was like Pythagorean theorem or something like that day. And we had a substitute, so I mean, it was a pretty chill day for me in third period. So, you know, I helped him out, and he had headphones, alright? So I'm just like, "Hey, bro, do you mind if I listen to music with you?" He's like, "Nah, go for it." And so I started listening to music, and I don't know why, but like the music, I've heard the song before, but when you're on acid, you get an audio hallucination, alright? And it started to hit me. I started getting the audio hallucination. And then once I started getting the audio hallucination, I looked at the door, you know, the door to, you know, enter and leave class. And I looked at the door, and I'm just like, "Bro, is that door like tilted or something like that?" He's just like, "No, you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I'm probably just seeing things, you know." And then he's just like, "All right." So we I help him out a little bit, and then he asked me for this new problem, and he's just like, "Bro, you know this?" I'm just like, "What the hell? What am I looking at?" He's like, dude, you've been helping me out for like the past 20 minutes. You can't say that you do not know what this is. And I'm just like, bro, I'm completely lost now. And like, okay, the first step, the first stage for me of acid is the giggles. I start laughing, I start giggling, you know, I get this like tingly feeling in my face and everything, you know, my teeth start shaking, my hands, you know, everything's just all weird and everything. So I'm just like, oh, all right, well, I think I have to like, you know, get ready for, you know, for class to end, you know. He's just like, bro, we still got like 20 minutes left. I'm just like, really? He's just like, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to help me, that's cool. I mean, I understand pretty much everything. He's like, thank you. And I'm like, all right. So I went to go sit down. All right. So at this point, like whenever I stood up, I had like this like head change. You know, I felt the head change and all that. You know, my body felt a little bit heavier than usual. And then I started walking, and I felt like I was walking like the weirdest way ever. And then I sat down. And then I asked my friend. Well, first I looked at the ground, and I said, and like the teacher's got like this carpet, and like it's got like this weird pattern. It's got like red and green and all that. It's like squiggly lines pretty much. And I looked at the ground and it started moving, and I asked my friend, hey bro, is the ground moving? And then like my friend just starts being all poetic and everything. He's just like, yes, the ground is moving, the world rotates, God made us for something. I don't even remember what he said. He was just being poetic, and I was just like, bro, I just asked if the ground was moving. I didn't ask you to be all poetic. And he's like, no, the ground's not moving. You're just, I don't know, you're on drugs or something. And I'm just like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm just, you know, I'm just hallucinating. And then class ended, the bell rang, and this is where the trip actually began. I went to lunch, and I didn't want anything to eat because, you know, acid, it really takes your appetite, because I mean, it makes everything taste weird and funny and all that, you know. So I didn't really want to eat. You know, I took a bite of something. I don't remember. I think it was like ramen, because we had like a bunch of like people that had like chips as ramen and all that. And I ate that. I didn't really like it, so I went to lunch, you know. And at lunch, you know, this is where like the effects started to kick in. All right, so I don't remember much of lunch. I just remember there was a bunch of laughing and making jokes and everything. You know, we were just acting normal. So where it really began the trip was fourth period. Now fourth period, I have world history, and with my world history teacher, he's more of a Oklahoma kind of guy, so his accent is really funny. He's like, hey there, Sonny, you know, why don't you take a seat over yonder and everything. So whenever we first get in class, he starts talking to me, and I lose my mind because his voice was just so funny and everything, and I just start laughing. My friend, he's right next to me. He's like, dude, what are you laughing at? I'm like, oh, his voice just sounds so different today. He's like, it sounds the same as usual. And I was just like, oh, well, I don't know, for me it sounds different. And then class went on, and you know, I really didn't focus that much. I was looking at this whiteboard, and if you guys ever have a whiteboard and your teacher cleans it, you guys can still see like some of the black, you know, things that he didn't get off. And like, I just started seeing patterns. I don't know, it just started moving around, it started tilting, and it was just funny. I just started giggling in the middle of class. He got on to me a couple of times, but I mean, everything was pretty much normal because I always get on to, like, he always gets on to me. I'm like, I wasn't his favorite student, but he still passed me. So yeah, that's pretty much my acid trip. I mean, like, the first couple of times that I did it, it only lasted like 2 hours. Maybe it was because I got like some weak stuff and everything, or maybe, you know, maybe like I didn't expect it to hit me a lot. So that was pretty much it. After fourth period, fifth period just came along, and I was feeling perfect, you know. Yeah, I was still seeing some things move, but I wasn't like, I could focus. I like came back to reality and all that, you know. So yeah, that's my acid story, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know this video is gonna be like 10 minutes long and everything, but yeah, guys, just remember, don't go out and do any of the stuff that you see in my video just because, you know, it seems fun or anything. Trust me, these things are really dangerous, and if you guys just smoke weed, just stick to that. If you guys don't do anything, then stick to that, you know. Don't go out and do like crazy stuff, because I mean, I'm not against it, but if you guys go do it, it's on your own, okay? Well, anyways, guys, this has been Young Wild Gamer. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later.
marriage is saved. Well, this calls for a toast, so pour the champagne. Oh, well, in fact, well, I'll look at it this way. I mean, technically our marriage is saved. Well, this calls for a toast, so pour the champagne, pour the champagne.